Welcome back, fans, to the ECHL Insider. I am your host, Garrett Hunter. Excited for our first off-season episode. But before we get to ECHL awards today, a lot of ECHL news to get you caught up on. We will start with some coaching changes with the Allen Americans. They have hired BJ Adams after releasing their former head coach after they were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Personally, I was very surprised that they made a coaching change after making the playoffs for the second straight year. Yes, they were eliminated in the first round again, this time by the Idaho Steelheads, but still an impressive run for the Americans in March and April. Needed a lot of wins to get to the playoffs, and they got those victories despite being eliminated in the first round. But a lot of hope, I think, in Allen for next year with the hiring of new head coach BJ Adams. And for the Worcester Railers, assistant coach Bob Duraney has been promoted to now the new head coach of the Railers, as well as Nick Tuzzolino, their new GM. Tuzzolino was the assistant coach in Savannah last year. He now gets a GM position with Worcester, and I think this is a great setup for the Railers. You have one guy as the GM, one guy as the head coach. And with Duraney, he was the assistant coach last year, so he knows the city, knows the environment. I think this should be a very successful setup for the Railers coming into the fall. And the Greenville Swamp Rabbits head coach Andrew Lord has accepted a head coaching job in the Quebec Junior Hockey League. Lord, a very good coach. Obviously, he was coach of the year. We'll get to that later, but now a huge shoes to fill in Greenville, South Carolina now. The head coaching position is open right now, and they have already begun the search for the next head coach. But after the success that Greenville had in the regular season last year, these will be big shoes to fill for the Swamp Rabbits heading into the fall. And in Savannah, they have announced a new affiliate with the Florida Panthers of the NHL and the Charlotte Checkers of the AHL. Florida was formerly affiliated with the Everblades, so the Everblades now have to get a new affiliate. We will announce that as soon as we get that news ourselves, and we will pass it on to you. The Everblades and Panthers, what a great affiliate that was. Both years that they were affiliated, the Everblades won the Kelly Cup, and the Florida Panthers made it to the Stanley Cup final. So very, very good affiliate there. I think Savannah made a great choice, and I think this should be a very successful setup for the Ghost Pirates. Well, let's get you now to the ECHL awards this season, several to announce to you, and we will start with Coach of the Year. We mentioned it earlier. Andrew Lord, coach of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, got this award after leading Greenville to a fantastic regular season that was cut short in the first round of the playoffs by the Orlando Solar Bears. Definitely a huge surprise seeing Greenville go out in the first round. I think a lot of people projected them to make a deep playoff run this year, but definitely disappointed that they were eliminated in the first round, but not to take away from their credit and what their accomplishments were in the regular season. They held first place for a majority of the season in the South Division and were the regular season South Division champions. That is something that is a very, very hard thing to accomplish, and they were able to do that. And now with a new head coach, we don't know who that is yet, but heading into next season, a lot of questions, though, now for Greenville if they can have that same type of success in the regular season. And Rookie of the Year was Austin Magera for the South Carolina Stingrays. Rookie Austin Magera, 29 goals and 45 assists, helped lead the Stingrays this year. And really, when you're a rookie and you put up those types of numbers, you know that you will be have a great career, not only in the ECHL, but also in higher leagues like the AHL and maybe even the NHL. So a very bright future ahead for Magera, and we'll see how much longer he plays for the Stingrays before possibly getting himself a job in the American Hockey League. And Defenseman of the Year, Patrick Kudla, defenseman of the Idaho Steelheads, got this award. This also something to note, the second straight year the Steelheads have had a Defenseman of the Year. Last year, Owen Hedrick won that award, and I think back-to-back Defenseman of the Year awards for the Steelheads, very impressive. I think it speaks to Everett Sheen, their head coach, and his defensive mentality and how he coaches the defense of the Idaho Steelheads and how good it's been over the last 2 years. Steelheads have had so much success these last 2 seasons, mainly because of how sound they have been defensively. And Owen Hedrick and Patrick Kudla, definitely two of the main guys that have been helping the Steelheads in these last 2 seasons. And the sportsmanship of the year will stay in Idaho for this one. Captain A.J. White got the sportsmanship award. A.J. White, one of the best leaders you will see in this league. He has just led this Steelheads team the last 2 seasons, led him to the finals last year and to the Mountain Division finals. This year, I mean, one of the best. The way he carries himself on and off the ice, great job from him. And on the ice, you can see it. He's not one to get into the fights and stuff. He's a veteran player in this league. He knows when to keep his cool and when to go after another team and stuff. Very impressive from A.J. White this year. Not only sportsmanship-wise, but also on the ice. He put up a lot of goals, a lot of assists for him as well. And goaltender of the year has to go to Taylor Gauthier of the Wheeling Nailers. Wow, what a performance from him. The right catching goaltender, a .923 save percentage for him in his appearances with the Wheeling Nailers. He had 42 games with Wheeling this year, and just impressive for him. He was the guy, I would say, who led the Nailers to the playoffs. Just the center of the defense, right? The goaltender. He was just the backstop for this team all year long, it seemed. When they were in a spot where they needed to win a low-scoring type of game, Gauthier was the guy in the net stopping all the pucks for the Nailers. I think huge if the Nailers can get him back. Yes, he is an AHL contracted goalie with the Wilkesburg Scranton Penguins, but if he sees more time in Wheeling next year, that would be a huge advantage for the Nailers. And finally, last but definitely not least, MVP of the year. And I think you guys all know who this one should go to. Brandon Hawkins, forward for the Toledo Walleye, an astounding 40 goals and 54 assists on the year. Total of 94 points for Hawkins. I mean, well over a point a game. Hawkins, just one of those players that is just so fun to watch. He put up moves in the offseason. I think we showed you that. And in the regular season. The All-Star Classic also in January, he pretty much took over the All-Star game with his moves and goal-scoring ability. He is just a player that is so fun to watch in this league, and we hope to see him next season with the Walleye. Certainly know he'll be playing hockey. Maybe not in the ECHL. It might be up in the American Hockey League, but we hope to see him back here in the ECHL next year so he can light up the highlight reels yet again. Well, make sure to subscribe to our channel below. We will show you a fun clip from the regular season. Cam Johnson, goaltender for the Florida Everblades, and Michael McNiven, goaltender for the Savannah Ghost Pirates, had a goalie fight in late January that we didn't show you in the regular season. We have time to show it to you now, so sit back, relax, and enjoy 2 goalies going at it at the end of the 3rd period. And we will see you in 2 weeks for our first part of ECHL Logo Rankings.
Top against Scarfo, and Carter Long goes after Neuber. They're going to drop the gloves. Neuber against Carter Long with some uppercuts, and Michael McNiven and Cam Johnson, the goaltenders, fighting at center to end this game. McNiven against Johnson. Here we go. The 2 goaltenders locking up. McNiven coming over the top. A left hand for Johnson. And Johnson trying to get his left arm free. The goaltenders fighting at End Market Arena with 2.7 seconds left. Johnson and McNiven. Can McNiven get his right arm free? Some lefts for McNiven against Johnson. Johnson with an overhand right. And Johnson with another. No clear punches settled as both goaltenders go down. McNiven.